The pick is in.
The Green Bay Packers have made a selection in the 2024 NFL Draft. Alongside Locked On College Football host Spencer McLaughlin, I am Tanisha Batiste, and we are joined by Peter Bukowski of Locked On Packers to break down the Packers selecting Jordan Morgan with the 25th pick. So, Peter, Jordan started 37 games at left tackle at Arizona, but he is expected to maybe make a move inside. What do you think the Packers see in him to make them feel he'd be successful in making that switch?
Yeah, I think he is a better guard than tackle. I'm not sure the Packers feel that way. They have not taken an interior offensive lineman in the first round since Ross Verba. So we're talking about almost 30 years since they've done that. That tells me that they think he can stick at offensive tackle. And let me give you a name that's another blast from the past, but not quite that far in the past. Brian Bulaga had 33 and a quarter inch arms, started on that 2010 Super Bowl team, was a really good player for the Packers for a long time. Jordan Morgan, 32 and 7/8 inch arms. Are we going to quibble about less than half an inch when we're talking about arm length? He was one of the highest graded left tackles in college football, top 10 each of the last two seasons. I think they're going to give him a chance to stick at tackle. We're talking about a 95th percentile athlete. So let's go see what he's got.
And when you think about an athlete that's in that 95th percentile, sometimes it may be a little bit challenging to maybe find an area where he can improve. But then again, coming into the pros and the expectations on you in that first season, I'm sure there's some areas. So, Peter, where would you like to see him improve to be ready come day one?
Yeah, a couple different places for me. One of the reasons why I thought he would be a better guard is he can overset at times. His lateral quickness, not quite where you'd want it to be. Now, last year, he's coming off an ACL injury that he came back to with the quickness. I mean, it was pretty remarkable what he was able to do to be back on the field and playing at such a high level the way that he was. In fact, he said on the media conference call with the Packers media, that he was going to declare last year and then tore his ACL. And that it was just a kind of a brutal thing for him. He needs to anchor better. That's one of those things. He's a little light in his lower body. I think he can get stronger there. Although when you look at him, he does not look light. He is a thick boy now. But that positional versatility that you mentioned at the top to be able to play guard or tackle, I think he's probably going to have to get stronger to do either of those. But that was something we saw the Packers do with Zach Tom. They're really good at developing these guys. Last year, a day 3 pick who was light, probably played at like 285 at Wake Forest. He's up to something close to 300 pounds now, and he was one of the best right tackles in the NFL last year.
Indeed. So, when we look at those kinds of players, and, there are teams in the league that definitely just have an eye in certain places. And I kind of see like the Packers kind of have that eye for in the trenches. For more on the Packers, subscribe to Locked On Packers on YouTube or wherever you get your podcast. Now, Spencer, when you go back to Jordan Morgan's days at Arizona, what did you see in him that maybe makes you feel like he is viable for this Packers O-line?
Yeah, I think he's got good athleticism for his size, 6'5", over 300 pounds. And I think going to the Packers is a really nice spot for him. It's a place that has a really, really good track record with offensive linemen. They've had some long tenured guys, and it's just been, an annual tradition, frankly, over there. So I like the pick for Morgan. I think you're going to see some NFL draft experts or commentators talk about whether or not this pick should have been Tyler Guyton, but Guyton projects as a straight-up tackle, whereas Morgan has that ability to play on the inside. That's where he, might even be at his best in the NFL. But I think that it's a solid pick for the Packers, and he's a guy who was a part of a really, really good offense at Arizona this past year, and I think he's capable in both the run game and the pass game to be what the Packers need to help give Jordan Love what he needs to succeed.
And we have heard a couple different times in this first round of all of that run of O-linemen. One of the words we keep hearing is the versatility that you just mentioned. So I think that is very, very key. For continuing coverage of the 2024 NFL Draft, subscribe to Locked On NFL on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.